What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy, joined today by the man, Brian DeGennaro. How we doing today, Brian?
I'm fantastic, Pat. How you been?
Listen, I can't complain. You know who else is doing a fantastic, Brian?
You tell me.
Steven Ridings. The guy who, honestly, we've kind of like fallen in love with, made his debut with the Yankees just about a week ago at this point, and he's taken the Yankees fan base, he's taken the Yankees bullpen by absolute storm at this point, making a name for himself in that bullpen. So we're going to talk about him today, where we could kind of see him fitting in with the Yankees bullpen going down the stretch. But before we get into that, everyone be sure, you guys know the deal, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But Brian, like I said, Steven Ridings. He did make his debut, honestly, a few games ago. But since then, he's only pitched 3 1/3 inning as of this recording. Only given up 2 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks. He's just dominant. And I think you kind of look at his stuff, bro, we're looking at a guy with like 101-mile-an-hour fastball, like a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. Like, he has nasty breaking stuff. The fact that we haven't necessarily heard of him or heard too much about him prior to him being called up, and the fact that it took a COVID outbreak to see him, it just blows my mind that, like, the Yankees can still have, like, these diamonds in the rough and, like, within the organization. Meanwhile, we're going out and we're trading for guys like Wandy Peralta and Holmes. Meanwhile, like, these guys don't suck, but it's like we have people within the organization like Ridings that I think if they're given the opportunity, they can make a serious impact in that bullpen, especially with Chapman currently on the IL. Britton severely underperforming this season. I think Ridings, if he keeps pitching the way he is, one, the Yankees can't send him down. It's impossible to do so. And two, he could, like, etch himself in that back end of that bullpen there.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly got an opportunity right now with Chapman down. We lost Sessa. So the Yankees are hurting for some quality arms in the bullpen. And even the good guys really haven't been performing that well recently with Britton and Chad Green struggling a bit from overuse. So I think it's a great opportunity for him. He's looked nasty. I mean, the guy throws 101 and he's got pretty good accuracy. I mean, obviously he can get better and stuff, but he's looked so good so far. And what did you say? 6 Ks in 3 innings so far?
Yeah.
It's pretty nasty. That's pretty nasty. So if he can keep up that kind of production, I mean, that's going to be a huge asset come postseason.
No, and it's not even that. It's the fact that, like, the confidence of this dude, right? You see the confidence of Steven Ridings on the mound, and that's why I say I trust him in, like, a late-game situation in the back end of the Yankees bullpen, simply because he's not like your typical, like, Yankee bullpen arm who's first coming up from the minors and they have, like, that puppy dog look when they're warming up the bullpen. Bro, Steven Ridings is an absolute killer. Like, he wants to go on the mound and dominate his competition. Yeah. And it just seems like he just keeps getting better and better, and just the aura of him on the mound.
He's
it's impressive
too. He's
for
a
sure.
huge guy, 6'8", like.
Bro, he's like 6'8", 220. You love to see that. But yeah, I mean, kind of like I was saying, I think as we kind of like move forward here, as the Yankees are kind of looking to make a serious playoff push, especially after the trade deadline, making all those acquisitions, maybe the reason that they didn't necessarily go out and get like a top of the line like bullpen piece for that back end is because maybe they're confident in guys like Steven Ridings. Now, I don't necessarily know like what his future would have been with the Yankees without the COVID thing. Like, I doubt we would have seen him this season, but I think it just kind of goes to show that the Yankees do have like plenty of arms in the minor leagues that they could kind of just call on at any point and kind of just have trust in them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is reassuring, especially when, the top guys aren't competing to the best of their abilities. And, you got these spots open for these young guys. Give them a shot. Like, let's see what they got, And Ridings is a perfect example. I mean, a guy that we've never really heard of before, just kind of comes out of nowhere, comes in and dominates. So, I mean, we'll see if he can keep it up. But it's so great to see, man.
Can you remember the last time, like, the Yankees had, like, I would say pitcher, but, like, I would say, like, Severino would be, like, the last pitcher who's made, like, this sort of impact. But who's, like, the last reliever that the Yankees had where they called them up from the minor leagues and they have this substantial of an impact, like, within their first 3 innings? Bro, I think I might have to go back to, like, Jabba Chamberlain. Like, that's probably, like, the only thing that pops into my mind here.
Yeah, I mean...
He's taken this fan base by storm. Bro, everyone loves Steven Ridings. Like, bro,
what's not to love, dude? The dude is just he's awesome. He's huge. Isn't he? Is he a redhead? Because he kind of looks like a redhead, right?
Yes, he's like Clint Frazier's older brother.
Yes, and he wears 70 and it always reminds me of Clint.
So all I know is that I'm looking at Steven Ridings, right? and I'm looking at something that like the Yankees bullpen like doesn't necessarily have, and it's so weird because I kind of view him as like a left-handed Chapman. Like I mean, a right-handed
A
Chapman, right-handed
right-handed
Chapman.
Chapman. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
like
you.
it's so strange because like I don't know where he came from. I feel like he was just like a present from like the heavens, bro. And
Bro,
where yo, bro, the universe is like, look, the Yankees are dealing with so many COVID things. They're dealing with so many like injuries and whatnot. We're just
here,
gonna
bro.
toss Steven Ridings into there and
Have
just
this,
see what
bro.
happens.
Yeah, there you go. No, but
That's
did you
all.
see? Did you see? Was it a couple of games ago when he pitched? He like he gave up a pop fly, but he like got pissed off when he threw the
Yes.
pitch. Like that's the kind of fire that I want to see out of this bullpen. Like, oh, I just missed my placement, but it's still gonna be an out. But I'm still pissed off because I just missed my placement. So like, it's great to see that kind of energy.
No, yeah, and I think that's kind of like the key. Like I said, he provides the Yankees bullpen with something that they don't necessarily have, right? You have that guy. He's kind of like this is
Tommy
actually
Kahnle.
a good comp here. I'm thinking like a Roldis Chapman stuff from the right-handed side, but
Hmm.
then like Tommy Kahnle's
That's what
energy,
I
bro.
said.
It,
Absolutely.
he's like a Tommy Kahnle type presence in
Yeah.
that bullpen, and I think
100%.
I've mentioned this a few times. Like obviously, when you called up Luis Heel, you called up Steven Ridings, you called up Kerner, I think his last name is,
Yeah.
but Luis Heel has pitched very well
Oh
as
yeah.
Steven Ridings. But I think just because he's a starter and the Yankees have plenty of starting pitching coming back in the form of like Luis Severino, Corey Kluber, Garrett Cole, Jordan Montgomery, Domingo Herman, it's going to make it a lot harder for the Yankees to keep Heel up rather than keeping Ridings up. And I think, like I said, to kind of start things off here, if Ridings continues pitching at this level where he is, which we kind of expect him to because he's not really showing any signs of like breaking down anytime soon, it's impossible for the Yankees to send him down. Like he's going
Okay.
to be a solidified option in that bullpen going into the playoffs, and that's going to be like their missing piece because right now we're looking at a few names that we trust in big games, right? Green, um, Loizaga, I would say Loizaga's kind of solidified
Definitely.
himself as that. Um,
Definitely.
Licky maybe he's probably like my
Yeah, he's
most
pretty
confident
good.
left-handed arm at this point.
Hmm.
Because Britton and Chapman, I mean, bro, those are two guys who they're probably going to be pitching a lot come like postseason time, but I don't know if we want to see them too much. So inserting Ridings into that situation, I think that he's going to play a key role for the Yankees, like come down the stretch, come down the playoff time, and I'm really excited to see what he could do.
Yeah, and another good aspect of this is he's going to eat some innings that would normally be going to guys like Green, Britton,
For
and
sure.
Chapman, and like these are guys that are already overused and are tired at this point of the season, so they could use some relief in that area. So I mean, that's going to be invaluable in itself.
Also, Brian, I literally I just thought of the name. Remember, I was like, oh, like what reliever like came up and took the Yankees by storm like this?
Oh, tell me,
I just remembered a more recent one.
tell
Dellin
me.
Betances.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that's a
probably the
good
most
one.
recent one. All I do know is that I kind of want to wrap things up today by kind of just mentioning this once again. I'm repeating the same point for the 15th time. Steven Ridingson is an absolute dog.
He's
Like
a
that's like the
dog.
only way of describing it. Now
Woof
also
woof.
like if he gives up like 7 runs today, which I don't think he will, like don't come after me, like oh super jinx Pat, whatever. But no, I truly think that we're kind of seeing something special with Steven Ridings. And if he could kind of keep this up and only improve from here, the Yankees have a very special arm on their hands. He has a very unique personality. He has that fire, that confidence, that grit that we love to see in the Bronx. Provides the Yankees bullpen with a different energy, and I think that's exactly what they need. But with that being said, that's gonna wrap things up for today. You guys know the deal. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We got these Rally Rod shirts. Unhingedclothing.shop. Link in the description. You guys know Rally Rod's the savior of the Yankee season. But also, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees. Peace.